Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Fuel Podcast, the official voice of the Nebraska Air National Guard. I'm your host RJ, and I'm glad you're here with us today. Before we get started, if you have been listening to previous episodes, I want to thank you so much for listening. If this is your first episode, I highly recommend you go back and listen to some great episodes. Some of those episodes are co-hosted by fellow military members, and we are looking for more co-hosts and even full episode hosts of the podcast. If you are interested, please find the org box below, use the feedback form, or reach out to one of the innovation team members on staff. We would love to hear from you, hear about you, and share more Nebraska voices to the podcast arena. And also a quick reminder right off the top, don't miss out on our $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. You got 2 chances to enter every single month. All you got to do is listen, and later on in the episode, you'll find out how you can get 2 chances per month until November 15th. It's free, it's easy, and you can get a $50 Amazon gift card. That's right. Winners will be announced on the December episode of our 1-year anniversary episode in December. All right, let's get started in this month's episode. We're sitting down with Cara Lokin. She's a transition specialist and a family readiness volunteer, and she's going to share how planning family events and activities don't just bring fun, but also boost morale for members and their families. Also, later in the episode, we're going to do exactly what we've done in previous episodes. We're going to give you a chance to hear great things that are happening around the Nebraska Air National Guard, a little safety since it's coming up in October, and Halloween, and so much more, so stay tuned. So my guest today is someone who knows a whole lot about keeping Guard families connected and needs no introduction, but I'm going to give one anyway. It's Cara Lokin. Now, if you don't know already who she is, well, Cara wears many hats, but on the base, she's a transition specialist, and she also volunteers her time with family readiness. Her work directly impacts our airmen and their families, making sure support doesn't stop at the end of the duty day. Let's hear her story, how she got into this role, and why family support is such a key part of morale.
The views expressed by our guests and hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Air Force, Air National Guard, Nebraska Air National Guard, Nebraska National Guard, or any government agency.
Welcome to the Phantom Fuel Podcast. My name is RJ, and I am back again with some great guests. And the good thing about this podcast, and you know as well as I do, is we bring so many guests on to talk about some great things. And on this base, we have our great 155th, Cara Lokin. Welcome to the podcast. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I could go into a lot of stories because I've known you for a very long time, and we could talk about, all these random things that we've been around for a while. But for those that don't know you, can you introduce yourself and tell us what you do for the 155th?
Oh, so my name is Cara Lokin, as RJ said. What I do is for my job on base, I am the Reserve Component Transition Assistant Advisor. Right now it's called the Key Liaison. I was a key volunteer, but I've been doing that for over 25 years. I started as the scrapbook person 25 years ago, and it just blossomed into the where I'm at right now. And I love that job. I am married to my husband for over 25 years. So he's still in about 35 years. My youngest gets back from his tech school in 3 weeks, hopefully. And my oldest son was in the Army active duty as well. So I have a lot of, as a mom, as a spouse, helping out here. And so I really enjoy what I do. It just kind of dwindling down right now, but right now I'm the base key liaison, which is great. I do like that. That's pretty much me kind of in a nutshell.
So a huge military history.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So what made you get started here at the, I know you do a lot of stuff with the JFHQ and Nebraska National Guard and all that kind of stuff, but when I reference the 155th, I know that your office is in the medical area, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So how did you get even started, even deciding I want to get involved with the military, getting involved with the 155th and all that stuff?
So
that was so many years ago.
Right. That was over 25 years ago. I'm old. So
most of us have retired since you got here. So it's
okay. Right. So like I said, I started with a scrapbook, just to get my foot in the door. Right. So then it has blossomed. So then I helped with Yellow Ribbon. Eventually I got paid for that job and I was there for probably about 3.5 years. And then the job I'm in right now came open. Of course, I didn't think I was going to get it, right? But nope, she liked my boss liked what I did and how I worked with the Air Guard. And so that kind of put me where I'm at right now. I've been 4.5 years with my current job. But I love the 155th. Like, that's my passion, is to give back, right? I also, with my nonprofit that I have as well, we do stuff for them as well out here.
No, that's awesome. And then, like, I know that you do, like, we're going to focus on retirement stuff, and you've agreed to come back to talk about that, and I'm looking forward to that, because I've had a lot of requests on previous episodes and previous podcasts that says, hey, we want to talk about these topics. For those people that are listening right now, I did not forget about you. Those are still on the list. We're getting people in, and I appreciate that. And you're the next one for the retirement, so that's in the future, and I truly appreciate that. So let's, for this podcast, let's go ahead and focus on the family readiness part of it, because you've been doing it for so long. Like, let's talk about, like, some of the events and things like that have happened, not just in the last few years, but I mean, like, look back at the 25 years you've been doing it. How has it helped? What does it do? How do you plan them? All that kind of fun stuff.
So the first thing I really planned was a Christmas party years ago. And so we had it full, right? So all the kids had toys, like Santa was there. So that was my first big event, and that was fantastic, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much more we can do out here.
Sure.
It was just kind of doing that every year, planning other stuff. There's so much stuff. I couldn't even tell you really of it. It's been a lot.
There's a lot.
Probably my favorite part. We don't really do those anymore. The Christmas parties, is I would like to see those come back, because those are great.
That's for the families and the kids. And
all the families get together. And again, if you plan stuff for everyone will come, right? And it's mostly like, how are you gonna, what are we gonna do for the kids, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, so there's so much. A couple years ago, we did a trunk or treat out in the parking lot. That was fun. So it's just been a lot of little things that have added up over the years. Because of doing that, I won the Joan Orr Award last year.
I saw that. That was awesome.
So in 2024, I won that. That was pretty cool. That was for the whole National Guard.
And what was that award for?
Just doing stuff out here for the awesome. 155th. So we do a pen pal program with the military kids. That just started again. I mean, just the stuff that I've done the prior year is what they take that as.
Right.
So Chief Hruby was like, hey, let's put Cara in for that, right? And I'm like, oh, so great surprise. Took forever to get anything, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But that was a cool award just for the stuff I've done here.
That's really cool.
Over the years, right? So it was just like a combination of everything. Here's the other thing I'm really happy that we do that takes care of the families and the kids, is we do a adopt a family.
And you said that you've done like yellow ribbon and things like that. That's helped a lot with families and things like that. So like when you like deploy and come back, or even like when we're deployed, how do you, like, what kind of experience and messages have you got from like the families when we're deployed? Is there anything specific that you've worked with that?
So I've been on both sides of the coin,
Of
right?
course, yeah.
And so just listening to them, knowing that we can help them with anything that has to do with transition, right? Because that's a big step, especially when they come home, but also when they leave. That leaving part is always the hard part, right? And for me, I mean, my husband's been deployed several times, and every time it's different, right?
It is.
So just knowing and helping, right? So now we have a new family readiness person, program manager, and she does a really good job making sure that we take care of those families when they come back. Unlike maybe before in the past, where it's just been kind of, okay, you're going to go to Yellow Ribbon, and that's where you're going to get all your information.
That's all you got, and press on, yeah.
But during that time, though, before we would have the Yellow Ribbons, I mean, it'd be like 45 days. Well, stuff's already happened by then, right?
Yeah.
So we try to hit that head on.
That's good.
All the time now, so it helps the families more.
So some of the events that you've done, do they focus mostly on like military members, or just the families itself, or together?
Together. It's mostly geared for the families, just so you know. It also helps the members, so they have to go. So you might as well learn something, right? Because before it was like, okay, I get it. Maintenance would always deploy. Ops would always deploy all the time, and they would always have to go to those, right? Same thing, same room, same that kind of stuff. And then when I took it over, you got to pick what you wanted to do, right? So maintenance, they were, of course, not happy. And I don't blame them, right? I'm like, just go pick your classes. Now you can pick them. Go paint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So they came back and they're like, this was the best day ever. I'm like, well, because you don't have an attitude, right? You have to go in there, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to go. I get that.
Yeah.
But if you go in there and you're going to help somebody else to get that information to take it back
Oh, for sure.
to your wingman or whatever you need to do, that helped, right? And so that was the best ever. And then ops, they were fine. They would go. They didn't care anymore.
They just want to get out and do
Right. They're just like,
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
right. How can I get out of here?
So, like, talking about the events that you've done, like, what are like the most popular events, and then how, like, walk me through it. Like, say, like, you're talking about painting and stuff like that. Like, if someone's like, oh, what goes on there? Like, how do I get involved and all that stuff? Like, obviously, they reach out to you and register and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
like, what to expect to go there? I guess
So for like the yellow ribbons, is that what you're asking, or in general, like
it could be
it
be yellow ribbon, or even in just the simple of like the painting events. Like, so
yeah,
they can be prepared to walk in the door to know what's actually going to happen.
Oh yeah, so I walk you through that painting.
Yeah.
So whatever we're gonna do, right? Whether it's a watercolor or an acrylic, mostly they're for the spouses, but the service member can come as well. Oh, and then we used to have kids classes here, and then they kind of dwindled down during COVID, right? So then they really didn't pick back up, but it was hopping, right?
Yeah.
So we'd have like 30 kids, and then during COVID, where we couldn't go do anything, right? And I didn't want to yell across Joint First Headquarters because we had the mask on, and then yelling not yelling, but yelling to them to tell them how to do it. So we've kind of changed that up, right? So sometimes they'll get a bag, and then they'll have crafts in there, right? So they can do those at home.
Let's go.
You know, that's something I love but it does help people, right? That painting, that art stuff, right? It does help.
I mean, for me, like, I've been married for quite a long time, and sitting there going, okay, here's an excuse to get out to do something when you have so much going on. That's always a good thing.
That's the problem is that. But we started doing virtual ones, so then we pre-record them, so then you guys can just come and get your stuff from me, and then you just watch it.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can do a couple. You can paint your spouse, which is fun. So hopefully, I think that's at the end of this month. Again, I mean, we have so much for you guys. I don't know where the disconnect is.
Right.
Because nobody really signs up, right? We have self-care classes. We have art classes. We have several of those, right? But again, I don't know where the disconnect is.
I think it's working. Like, since we've released the podcast, we've been doing do a good job to tell people like these events that are coming up and family events and things like that. So, like, in improving that communication, I would see like hopefully at least a little bit of an increase for those attendances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Other events other than the painting that you think that let's say like coming up, or things that you've done before that you've seen that's helped a lot.
We're having a family day tomorrow. I'm not doing a whole lot for that tomorrow, but in the past, years ago, we used to have the really great family days out where we had like planes come in, we could tour those, had it out on the the flight line, and now it's still the same kind of, but it's just if you feed them, I keep saying if you feed them, they will come, right?
That's true.
And so it doesn't matter what it is, hot dogs, anything like that. But that's a way where we can target everybody, right? So even if you're not married, even if you don't have kids, hopefully there's something for them. This year I'm doing face painting, and then the comfort dogs, which they'll walk around. I'm not actually going to face paint. I actually got 16-year-olds to do that for me. And I'm really grateful that they come in and do that, because then I can go and help wherever it's needed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But sometimes I can't make the meetings. So this year it's just kind of I haven't really been involved this year, really last year. It's just one of those things where somebody else is going to have to eventually take over, because eventually I'm not going to be out here forever, right? So it's like somebody has to step up. So we have that coming up tomorrow on the 6th. I think that you're going to play some music for us, too.
Yeah, I'll be out there, too.
Yeah. So I'll be out there walking around and doing things just where is needed, right? Fortunately, I think Peter Boo needs help with balloons. So that's not going to happen either. You just get a long one. But that brings the families together, right? Doing things. And I think last year and the year before, we've really had a high attendance.
There has been a lot of people.
Yeah, there has been. And that's good, right? I was going to try to do a haunted hallways just for the Air Guard side, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I'm still thinking about that, but we did like a trunk or treat, like I said, a couple years ago, and that was fun. We gave prizes away for the best display, right?
Yeah.
We had some Husker tickets. What else do we have? So usually there's a prize involved in something that we're doing. I will let you know if we do that.
Yeah.
So, but years ago we used to do those. And then we had an area where we went where there was the scary part, right? Where the little kids could leave if they, it wasn't like they were going to scare the bejesus out of them.
Yeah.
And then we always had exits where if they didn't want to be in there. But, I mean, it was just really cool. I want to go back to some of that stuff if we can, because that's when it was really fun. I know you guys are busy. That's also a problem, right? And they really rely on you guys to do that stuff. But we have a bunch of volunteers that would just, where you guys could go, right? Exactly. And just enjoy yourself and not have to work everything.
I mean, is there ever any like issues with like funding or anything like that to get to those events, or is those events always like just the planning aspect is the issue?
It just depends. Sometimes it's like, okay, how much do they have in this account, or what are we going to use this one for, or whatever. Sometimes I can get donations from the outside because there's people on the outside that really want to help, right? Cool. But they don't know where to start, right? Yeah. Normally, it's not even the planning part. It just depends, like who. Like this year, it's very greatly planned, honestly. And I'm so happy that even though I can't always make the meetings because it really corresponds with another meeting I have to put on for my team. And so sometimes I just can't make it. The one that's running it, he's just been really great at making sure that I know what's going on if I need anything or whatever. So. But
who's in charge of like family readiness right now?
It's Lindsay Kuchel is who it is. Right. She's been here probably at the end of this year. It might be 2 years she's been here. Oh, so we did do a kids camp that I put on.
Ooh, talk about that because I want to.
Yeah, so
I think
that was
everybody
really
needs
cool.
to understand that one.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So we got to have some horses out here. So we maxed it at, because we can only have 6 per person, right? So we had to have enough people that could work with the kids, right? Yeah. So that was an awesome day, our first time doing it. So since it was such a big hit, we'll probably do it again next year. So we had horses, they could horseback ride. We had where they could shoot Nerf guns with security forces, right? So that was pretty cool. EOD was out there. We played some games and that kind of stuff. We had a water day. We only did it for like 3 days in the morning because it was hot.
It was super hot, yeah.
Yeah, so last day we fed them pizza, sent them home.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was really, USO is one of our great people that actually give us things for that kind of stuff, like snacks and drinks and that kind of stuff. If not, we would have to find funding for it as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, hopefully next year we're going to do it again. But oh my gosh, it was so much fun.
So speaking about all these events, like we've been trying to do the best we can on the podcast to let people know that. Like, is there any other areas that say, okay, after I listen to the podcast, and now we'll put the links below in the description below where to find them and stuff like that. But where are other locations or other places where they can look up these events coming up? Is there like a Facebook page? Is there like a calendar event somewhere?
Yeah. So you can go to the Nebraska, can't remember what that page is.
It's like a family readiness.
Yeah. So it's like Nebraska something. I'll get you the link or whatever. Yep. So that goes to Lindsay's family readiness page. So it usually has all the flyers on there. She'll pull them and put, sometimes it might be a couple days before, but it also have like the child and youth activities that we can participate in. We can't always participate in those, just so you guys know, unless it's free for them or whatever.
Right.
You can always get on my Facebook page. We have those on there as well. Anything that I'm doing or I'm putting on, which it usually is with the service members, veterans, families. So spouses, that kind of stuff. So it's always for the military. That's my heart, right? So they're there too. Sometimes like Warrior Family Support will share them on the Army side, and then Child and Youth when I have them.
No, that's
everything.
Awesome. And I remember, like, if you know where her office is and the medical thing, I believe that you post the flyers outside your office too.
Yeah, because it says my board, and I actually got a huge board that says TAA's board where you can only post my stuff on. No, I'm just joking. So anything that's going on around the base or whatever, but that will be on my board.
And if you're a military member and you're not using the military app too, because they do like the monthly base wides and like weekly, whenever things
Yep.
happen, you put those out there
Yep.
too. So that's a good place. So if you're not listening to the podcast, which I hope you still are, and if you are like trying to figure out where that's at, there's Facebook, there's her board, there's emails that go out, of course, and then there's that base wide that's in the app and everything
Yep.
like that.
So there's that, all of that. So there's plenty of places. It's just a matter of where you want to look, I guess,
Yeah.
or if you want to look.
And getting in the habit of looking to get that information.
Because I think every Thursday they send something out base wide.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're actually putting flyers in there. Before they wouldn't do that. You had to type it out, which
I saw that. Yeah.
but that's nice, right? So now that I know that they're doing that and I don't have to type everything up,
Yeah.
try to remember, hey, on Thursdays, this was what needs to go out.
Yeah.
So that helps, right? Seeing those flyers, that really helps,
Right.
right? Not just, what is this, right? Because stuff can get lost in the base wide or whatever. Yeah, it's just, there's lots of places that you can find that stuff.
So when you go back to all the events that you've done, and we've talked about like some really great ones that you've done, not just through Yellow Ribbon, but through Family Readiness, from the volunteers to the painting to, the trunk and treat and all that kind of stuff. Is there any of them that if you decided to say, okay, I had unlimited funding or I had limited this, what would be like one of the things that you would still love to do that you haven't done yet?
that I haven't done yet. I usually just do whatever. There's that. Usually it's like, this is what I'm going to do. I don't know. I would really, really, because we haven't had the kids' Christmas party
That would
for
be the big one to come
ever.
Yeah.
I would love to bring that back.
Yeah.
Like that was so fun. Like it, and everybody was there, right? December though, we're gonna do something at Joint Force headquarters. Where Santa's gonna be there. We're gonna decorate some cookies, play some games or whatever. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
That's Saturday of December drill, and I don't know what
I
date
don't
that
remember.
is.
I don't remember what that one is too. But I mean, as we release this, you'll hear the dates because we try to do the best we can.
Yeah, so I would say just bringing that one back. I would love to have, like I said, there's people in the community that will just donate if you ask,
Right.
but you have to know how to ask them without saying, hey, I work for the government, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's ways that you can do that, but they want to do things, right? They want to help. They want to give you money, right? And all you have to do is just let them be involved, and that's it. So all that stuff, I mean, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah. And if there's any of the companies or anybody that out there that knows companies that are willing to do this, is there a way to get a hold of you that says, hey, I'm this company, I want to volunteer, or I want to like give you funds or whatever like that? Where would they start at?
Calling me.
All right.
Just giving me a call, honestly, or texting me or emailing me or whatever, or finding me on Facebook. But we would love to have that happen because all we have to do is just, like I said, USO, awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, I need some snacks for this event and some drinks. What can you do? Right? And they're like, oh, hey.
Yeah, we could
Just put up our sign, right? The tag will be like, hey, you know what? Ask the USO to see if they'll buy snacks or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I might already have that covered, but okay. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they can call me. Most people will actually just come to me and say, hey, I know you know what you're doing, right? Because I've been around for so long, right? That they'll just come to me. And that's great. I really appreciate that, right?
I think that's a good way to like put the email. If you're okay with that, I'll put the email address down in the description below as well. As you're listening to this, if you're a business out there, or even if you're a military member that you want to get involved more or volunteer more, say, hey, what events can I help with? Get your volunteer hours in. That helps you with your EPB if you're that. So get those volunteers hours in, and then you can contact you and then help with that. So that'll be a good way to do it.
Absolutely. Because most people want their EPRs or the OPRs, right, to look better, to get promoted. Because if you're, sometimes if you're just not doing anything,
right,
but this will help you as well. Heck, I will put you to work, whether it's here or whether it's with my nonprofit, whatever you want to do.
That's
right?
awesome.
Just come see me, right? I'm not always on base because I actually help Air Guard, Army, all the reserves, and then all the veterans in the state of Nebraska. So sometimes I'm a little busy. Yeah. But just, you know what? I'll get back to you for whatever reason. But come to my art classes, please.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we go for this one, I really want to
you've brought it up a couple of times with your like nonprofit. Tell us what the nonprofit is and what it does and how can we help with that.
So it's called Hearts for Healing, and we've been doing this since 2016. We actually were a nonprofit in 2020, just because we just didn't have any overhead, and this is what a lawyer told me not to,
Exactly.
So I followed their directions, which was great. So now we're actually a nonprofit, but what we do is we help people, right? So art is so great for anything with like anxiety, PTSD, stress, whatever you got going on in your life, that will help you, right? People are like, hey, I don't know how to paint. Well, I'm going to walk you through all of this stuff, right? So all you have to do is just follow along. And it's free. The only thing that costs is when we have a retreat, and that'll be like a $50 deposit. So you'll show up. That's it.
What's the retreats?
So we do a caregiver retreat, and then we do a women veteran.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So this year we have to move it to next year because I just don't have enough funding for it.
Right.
But I love those. Like, those are great. Everybody likes those. Caregivers were kind of bummed that we weren't having one, but it's like that $50 is just not going to cover it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we just do a lot of things, right? So our nonprofit helps out here. Like, so we give money as well. We help caregivers, right? We help kids. We do a deployment class, right? With the chaplains out here. We'll do another one next year that gets the kids prepared for deployment time, right? So I've wrote a couple books. I've done some workbooks to help with that kind of stuff. So like the kids, getting them ready for deployment time, right? Next year we're going to deploy again.
Right.
So we'll probably start doing that, I don't know, maybe February. They get a book that they're going to work in to go over with their parents when they come back. So they understand what that child is going through too. And then how to talk to them. That's when the chaplains come in. So great. We did one that was virtual. Wasn't very good because it was virtual. But now we're going to with Jarrell Roach. So he's so like high energy and stuff. Yeah. He is the best guy. So he's going to run that part of it. And then we'll work with them in that book and other ways. And then they'll do a project. But it's free for the kids.
That's really cool.
Everything is free, except for, like I said, that retreat. So they come. That's it.
So with the family readiness, with the deployments and stuff, I know you're talking about like a lot of the kids stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever had a cross with the military members that are deploying for the first time? Like, how do they deal with it? Like, how does that
It's hard.
work?
Although the members, they really think, they're strong, right? Mm-hmm. But some of them really aren't. Which is fine, right? That's why we're
like
there
unexpected
to help.
What's happening.
Yes,
That's
because more or less, it depends on where they're going, right? But the kids, they don't, if you've only deployed one time and you have a family, it really is a struggle for the kids.
Right.
Like my son, I can be honest with him, he would either be sick when my husband, he would be like, make himself sick.
Right.
So here I am trying to adjust myself, but I'm also having to have him adjust as well. And it's a lot of work.
It is.
Even like the second or the third time, it never gets easier. They're that first timer though, they come in like, closer you get though, the more stressed you get, right? Yeah. My husband and I, same thing. Like, he's a colonel, right? Think hopefully he doesn't have to ever deploy again, but he's been deployed enough where it's hard, right? So there's just things that I think, can be better at out here, helping
the communication
to get them,
and all that kind of stuff.
To get them ready, ready for that.
And like you said earlier, like each deployment is different because I've been in 3 deployments. First one, I wasn't married. Second one, I was married. Third one, I had kids.
Yes.
So all of it's spread out. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Each time is totally different.
It is different, and it's really crazy because even though, so my husband was, before I met him, he was in the Army for about 9 years. When I met him, he had just came over to the good side, Air Guard side. I'm just joking. So I didn't really know his Army, but he'd been deployed there as well, right? Like, I think either once or twice. But he's like gone on voluntary ones where he's like one of the only ones that are going, like 2 of those. One he didn't tell me he was flying to Afghanistan. I'm only going to be in Kuwait. I'm like, are you? No. He was out. Yeah. So he came home, but he almost got stuck there because they were shooting, of course, at them. But they got stuck in Afghanistan until those parts came. And I'm like, what? He didn't tell me this. So he knew, I think he knew I would be like, no, are you sure you want to go to that place? So, I mean, it's hard for us, like as a spouse, adjusting, right? So about that 2-week period for me, then it gets a little easier, or knowing that he's there, right? So just getting that, okay, you're there, that's good, right? But kids, they really struggle, and we really had a hard time when we first deployed.
Right.
Not myself, but others did, the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we kind of know what's going on with them. So I feel like this should help them be able to talk to their parents, this class that I'm going to do, where they know how to talk to them, all stages of that deployment, right? Because, again, they don't know. They have no idea. They just know mom or dad's gone.
Yeah.
And are they coming back? I did a kids book with kids, like, it was more or less kids say the darndest things, like giving them like the acronyms and asking them what they are. And oh my gosh.
That's funny.
But I had some of them draw a picture. It was all shooting.
Oh, really?
It was all like
they just all expected
that's
that
what they think that's over there,
perception.
right?
Yeah.
That's how they saw it, which was really weird. And I'm like, oh, what do you guys tell your kids? Like, is that what, I mean, is that what you tell them? But yeah, that book was really, it was cool. I mean, I went anywhere they were stationed at, right? So there were some in Japan and there were some here. We did about, I think there was maybe 25 kids total.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But the acronyms were the best because they don't have any idea unless they Google them or search them. But other than that, it was like dinosaurs and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. But it was funny.
Yeah,
right?
relate to what they know. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So that was hilarious. So, yeah, I mean, like, that was just a weird thing for me, thinking I know that the parents don't tell them that. I think that that's just their perception, right? That there's always fighting, right?
Yeah.
And there's shooting and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's just, I'll have to bring you one of those books so you can see.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then the other one that we're going to work in as well. But yeah, it's just those
are some awesome
yeah,
books.
it's just a cool thing for the kids. So there's 2 kids books, couple workbooks, spouse book, kind of like how we're making a difference. So, I mean, that's kind of cool too, right? Publish author. But yeah, it's just I don't know. This is my passion.
Yeah. No,
It
that's
just
why
really
I love sitting
is.
down and talking to you, because we've been trying to get you on here for a while. So to talk about
It's just I don't know. I love my nonprofit because not only I can help on the outside coming in, but then I get to work on base and help you guys, right?
Right.
I mean, whether it's transitioning, I mean, you can come to me whenever. You don't have to transition anywhere, just so you know that. But I mean, people will still come to me. Like, it's just, they're so used to it, right? And I like that. I like that they feel like it's comfortable coming no matter what, right? So everybody's like, oh, Carol will know. It's like, maybe not. I don't know everything. I mean, my husband thinks I do, but that's because I tell him that. But other than that, it's just, like I bring one thing back, I would bring back the kids' Christmas party.
No, that's awesome. And then before we close it up here, is there any advice or anything that you would want to tell the families as you go through all these family readiness programs and things like that? Like, is there one advice that you would make sure that you give to them, instill to them in all these events or around what you do?
Ask questions. Don't just assume. Right? Hopefully the service members are getting this information home to you. That's one of the big issues that we see. But we get it. I get it, right? You guys are busy. You're going to come in and you have to share a computer with 8 other people, right?
Exactly,
How are you going to get to your email?
Yeah.
Just ask. Always ask. Never assume anything, right? Ask questions and make sure you come to stuff, right? I've had bosses yell at me. Not because I did anything wrong, is because they didn't know about something. Right? I'm just like, I don't have your address. I don't have your email. I don't know how to get a hold of you. Right? So that service member is that person that needs to get to them. Right? Yeah, just always ask. Always go. Right? Whether you might not like it or try it. Just try it once. Years ago, my husband would always decide if I wanted to come to something on the base. And I'm like, that's not your decision. Let me know, right?
Yeah.
So then he let me know everything. So there was that. So there was the other side of it. But you know what? I got to choose, right? Do I want to go to this retirement? Do I want to go to this promotion, right? Do I want to go out there? So that's what I had to say is I need you to let me know what's going on out here, right?
I love the advice to ask questions, just because
Just ask
like
a
if
question.
I go on a date with somebody, or like wife, or I'm just saying in general, wise for anybody that's listening, and you go out to like a movie and dinner, you're spending like 80, 90, $100, if not more, and you can go out and like have an hour to 2 hours just hanging out and just painting and getting to connection, meeting other people that are in the same scenario, same situation you guys are.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Meet more people.
Meet more people, right?
And you're not spending $200 a night to go out either.
Right.
So.
And it's free. Anything I do, it's free. But again, just ask. Always ask, or always tell whoever is in, whether it's your child or anything, just have them send you stuff. Just let you decide. That gives you control, whether you want to come to something, right? I don't always go to, it's impossible.
Yeah.
Like overdrill, there's too many retirements, that kind of stuff, promotions. And normally I try to go to everything that I can in maintenance, just because that's where my husband's at, and he's a group commander. I don't always get to go. Right. He'll say, hey, this is going on. Can you come? And I'm like, nope, I already have like all these other stuff scheduled. Right. But again, that was me. Right. But again, I know that there's like a change of command tomorrow. I don't know what time. It's in the morning. Right. But I already have, it's one of those things. But yeah, I had to yell at him, not really yell at him. I'm just like, hey, I'm missing out on stuff. People are like, why weren't you there? Yeah. Well, I know about it. Right. So there's the other side of that where you might get everything, but you know what? You get to make that decision, right? So after that worked.
So ask questions and over communicate.
Yes, absolutely over communicate. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Or you're going to miss the bus on everything, right?
Well, then the tease the closing here. I appreciate you coming out here, and like I said, we're coming back again in the future to talk about retirement, prepping for those that are just getting in versus people that are really close of getting out, because that makes a huge difference of the planning and things like that. So I totally appreciate it. Like I said, all the links and all the descriptions, all the emails, all that kind of stuff will be in the description below. And once again, thank you seriously so much for.
Well, thanks for having me.
Always a great time.
Yeah. So we'll get to the other stuff later.
What a great conversation with Cara. I think she really nailed it. Sometimes it's not about planning something huge. It's just about showing up, being present, and sharing those moments with your Guard family. All right, shifting gears now, let's talk about some highlights from around the Guard that you may have missed. First up, the 155th Security Forces took their training all the way to Alaska. Picture this: dense woodlands, rugged terrain, and our airmen sharpening their combat and navigational skills in a place that pushes them to adapt fast. That's about as real as training gets. Next, the 155th Civil Engineering Squadron headed to Fargo, North Dakota for contingency operations training. We're talking convoy ops, rapid airfield repair, and even partnering up with security forces for combat scenarios. That's readiness in action. Back here at home, employers of the Guard members got a front row seat to what we do during the ESGR, that's Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve Boss Lift program. They took to the skies in a KC-135 Stratotanker, getting a whole new appreciation for the mission their employers or employees are a part of. Meanwhile, overseas in Germany, the civil engineers were at it again, this time during Silver Flag training at Ramstein Air Base. Alongside active duty counterparts, they got hands-on with the kind of skills that keep contingency operations running worldwide. Adding to that, Nebraska's EOD teams teamed up with the Army and civilian bomb squads at Fort Riley to clear over 2,000 pounds of old ordnances. That's no small feat, and it shows just how important those partnerships are. And we can't forget a special salute to Lieutenant Colonel Randal Douglas, closed out his career with his fini-flight after 36 years and more than 7,600 flight hours. Sir, thank you so much for everything you've done in your career. You've left one incredible legacy. And speaking of partnerships, the Nebraska Military Department also announced new agreements with Norfolk and Columbus as part of the Community Partnership Program. These connections strengthen our ability to support local communities and build trust across the state. And finally, our favorite part, Family Appreciation Day during September drill. From music and walking tacos to a dunk tank and awards, it was all about celebrating the families that stand behind our Guard members. To everyone who came out, thank you. You're the reason this mission works. Now let's look ahead to what's coming up on the calendar here in the Nebraska Air National Guard. On Sunday, October 26th at 1 p.m., it's Pearson's Pumpkin Place and Education Day. Bring the family out for pumpkins, farm fun, and learning. Just remember, you do need to register in advance at www.pumpkinpatch25.eventbrite.com. And as always, there's new events popping up all the time. If you want the latest updates, reach out to Lindsay Koschel or Cara Lokin. They'll keep you in the loop, and we've got more. Here we go. These are some events that you do need to contact Lindsay or Cara to register for. The Tags Essay Contest due to Cara or Lindsay on October 24th. Military kids ages 6 to 17. What it takes to be a veteran. More than 272 words to do those essay contests. Remember, you have to be through the age of 6 and 17 to enter for that contest. They also have a couples art class on October 3rd. On October 11th, a self-care class, and also another spouse art class on October 24th. Looking forward to November, there is a lunch and learn with a self-care on November 13th, and on November 20th, another art class at the JFHQ building. All these events, make sure you pre-register with Cara Lokin or Lindsay Koschel. All right, since it's October, we can't forget about safety. Alongside breast cancer awareness, cybersecurity awareness, and ADHD awareness month, we've also got Halloween right around the corner. So a couple quick reminders to be safe for Halloween. Make sure costumes are visible, reflective tape, flashlights, glow sticks, the works, or have an escort with you that sports those visual safety tools. Parents, make sure you check that candy before it gets eaten. Drivers, slow it down, way down in the neighborhoods. And homeowners, light those paths and skip the real candles in the pumpkins. It doesn't take much to make Halloween safe and fun for everyone, so do your part. We thank you for that. All right, one special thing before we get going. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to recognize someone very special to the Nebraska Air National Guard. On September 7th, Chief Hruby, one of the original driving forces behind our innovation program, gave her retirement speech in the JFHQ atrium, closing out her nearly 22 years of dedicated service. Chief Hruby didn't just serve, she built opportunities for so many of us. She created the Spark Cell, a space where airmen could bring their ideas forward, collaborate, and push innovation across not only the Guard, but the entire military. So many other things, including this podcast. She gave me and the volunteers that help make this podcast great a chance to produce and host the Phantom Fuel podcast, improving communication like never before. And now she begins her next book, as she calls it, spending more time with her family and chasing new adventures. We want to say a heartfelt thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your guidance during this journey. Now, don't worry, she may be retired, but she's not leaving us completely. Chief Hruby has promised she'll still be a part of the podcast, and we even have a special innovation-focused interview with her coming up in a future episode. That's one you will not want to miss. So on behalf of the entire innovation team, Chief Hruby, congratulations. Thank you for everything you've given, and happy retirement. All right, it's that time again. A big thanks to Cara Lokin for joining us this episode. And hey, help us grow the Phantom Fuel community. Share this podcast with your friends, family, and fellow airmen. Plus, don't forget your comments on Spotify and your feedback form submissions both count as entries for the $50 Amazon gift card giveaway. 2 chances to win each month. Do not miss out. By helping us grow in the podcast arena, you could get a chance to win that $50 for free. It's been a fun episode, and until next time, take care, stay safe, stay connected, and keep fueling that mission. This is the Phantom Fuel Podcast, and we'll see you next month.